in once again with an episode of Personal Finance Bus. And this will be our last episode of 2018.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it will be.
I don't know, maybe. We'll see. If we can get another one, that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our close to last wrapping up the year. But we're just going to take a couple moments to kind of recap the year that we had and then kind of give some predictions and some of our goals for 2019.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to say about the year that we had, Ali?
I don't know.
You want to get sentimental?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, it was a good year. We hit 20,000 views on this guy's birthday over here. So
yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was a nice little testament to our hard work. And yeah, we launched our Instagram page.
Oh my god.
Finally.
With like 2 followers. Good job, Ali.
35 followers.
Okay, all your friends.
35 followers.
Yeah,
going strong.
for
Oh,
sure.
I have some other things, but yeah, we'll work on that. But no, I wanted to take like a time. I don't think it was the market year we were expecting. It kind of started off as like really good, and then just went.
But that's what we were expecting. We were expecting a flat year, no?
No, but it was like whoop, and then.
Yeah. It's getting ready for 2019.
Yeah, exactly. And like based on like where the interest rates are going and everything, it's just interesting to see now. Like we talked about so much in the year, like we talked about like different indicators. We talked about interest rates. We talked about bonds and like how all these different factors play together. And I think now we're seeing in the market like all of these different. I don't know.
Like heads scratching the wall.
I don't know what to tell you, Julian. Maybe in 2019 that'll change, but I don't know. We're kind of seeing in the market right now all these different factors come to play. We're seeing the political tensions with China, with Russia, with the Saudis. We're seeing the interest rates. We're seeing all those indicators of like unemployment, of job creations, of housing markets. So it's kind of like all coming together.
Yeah.
So although this might not be a good time for your portfolio, it's a nice time to see like how all these different factors interact and actually affect the market
And to see how
as
good
a whole.
the models are.
Yes.
Because the models say if this happens and that happens, if this happens and that happens. But every time there's an economic slowdown, there's always a different reason.
Yes.
In 2008 it was a housing. In 2001 it was the tech, meaning it was Nortel, right? Pretty much that led the charge on that. What was it?
No, it was WorldCom.
WorldCom?
It was Enron.
And okay, that's the one.
And all the other kind of. I heard like in the .com boom, basically
boom or bubble? Yeah, boom. Yeah.
Every company that would come out, like let's say it was like 5-star, which is a notebook creator. They'd create like their company. They change it to 5star.com or 5-star like tech or something.
Yeah.
And that would immediately let people think, oh, they're involved in technology. Let's buy their stock and put money in.
Yeah.
And all these things all these valuations went up. But I'm curious to see like how this, like people are saying there's going to be a recession coming. I'm curious as to know like, we obviously don't know what kind it's going to be, but like what is going to be the main
driver
culprit behind it basically. Like, is it going to be like in 2008 where we saw like massive job losses across the board, people losing their houses and everything, or is this just going to be like a recession in the typical sense where like the market just has a very, very steep downturn and then we just basically go from there?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be like a 20% loss in the market.
Okay.
That is my
as forecast for the day.
Yes.
Yes.
But I don't really see, and maybe like some housing or some debt, something, but I don't really see what the thing is.
Well, a lot of it is political tensions between the States and China. Trump is putting off the 25% tariff for now, but who knows what he's going to decide to do. And everyone agrees that you're going to get an economic loss if you impose this tariff.
Yes.
He wants to bring manufacturing back to America, but they can easily just move manufacturing from China to India or China to Taiwan or something, and then it wouldn't help the States.
No.
It wouldn't help China, so I guess he wants that, but it wouldn't bring manufacturing back to North America. Like GM was closing down 4 plants here, and
GM is closing plants. Ford is laying off. Chrysler will probably follow.
So
everyone is kind
his
of
plan to bring manufacturing jobs back to the States. I mean, he's not happy with GM, of course, but
What are you gonna do, huh?
That's just it's not his call.
Well, yeah. If we have more people going to the i3, then we're gonna have more. We're gonna see some closures in some of the other companies also.
I doubt that. Not with the way it looks. Well, talk about a car.
People have been buying Priuses for ages.
Yeah, but they're not as expensive.
No, but they don't look that great.
They look awful.
Yeah,
exactly. They look awful.
Well, you should get one of those.
Well, no, you see, okay, we're talking about the BMW i3. It's an electric car. It's made of carbon fiber-ish, carbon reinforced plastic, whatever. It'll never rust, and in Quebec, rust is a big factor that pisses me off. And it's pretty light. It looks god awful, but it looks so bad that it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Like it looks like no one would buy that for the looks. So it's not like you chose a Nissan Maxima as opposed to a BMW 3 Series or something. You went for that car. So you buy it to state a point, not for style, because style it has.
So what point are you stating exactly?
I think it's time to move to electric.
No, I agree with that.
And that's and the way the car is manufactured, it's manufactured 100% renewable energy. They use recycled materials in the vehicle, which is good.
Yes.
And the car itself is a good car.
No, I'm not arguing with that.
But
I'm just arguing.
It looks god awful.
The biggest thing we've been saying with electric cars forever, and this I can't believe this episode's going to electric cars. But
yeah.
The biggest thing with electric cars was that the thing is like, why are they ugly?
Well,
like,
Teslas,
why are they made?
Teslas aren't
I know, but why are electric cars purposefully made that way?
Yeah, they're purposefully made ugly because people, like the manufacturers, want people to know this is an electric car, and they think that drivers of electric cars want to be
distinct.
Distinct. They say, "Ha, look at what I'm doing for the environment, you pieces of shit! Like you guys are driving your fossil fuel cars, and I'm driving on." You know, I think that's one of it. But then if you look at the Volkswagen e-Golf, it looks exactly like a Golf. There's no distinction between the two, and a lot of people like that car because it's more subtle. And it's not that they look better; they look worse. Like usually electric cars, they just look worse than their fuel counterparts. So it's not like a Tesla; it has a distinct look, but it looks better than a lot of cars. So that's why they've been having such great success and the range of their cars, right? But if you look at like the first Nissan Leafs and like the Honda Claret Insight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why did they make it look like that?
But I see like now, like Dev, one of our friends, he has like a
shout out Dev.
He has like a car that's like half electric, half gas for like the first 40 kilometers and upwards on electric, and then you go on to gas for the remaining leg of your journey.
Yeah. Where
do you see that fitting into the market? Is it like a good milieu, or is it like we shouldn't even be going there?
Okay, we're really going into electric cars.
Well,
okay, so for the plug-in hybrids, the thing, like if you're a city driver, you drive 40 kilometers a day in summer, car's perfect for you because you'll never use gas.
Yes.
If you drive 70 to 80 kilometers like me, it's kind of pointless because you pay more money for the plug-in hybrid feature, but you're still running on gas half the time. Yes, you have the braking that charges the battery and whatever, but the battery adds weight to the car. So when you're running on gas, you'll be less fuel efficient on the highway because you're getting no recharging, and if the car's just heavier, so it costs you more money. It's an SUV, so you know what I think about SUVs. I think they're wasteful unless you need to use the space. If you don't need to use the space and you're not towing anything, you're just whatever. You're higher, you're safer. Those are just illusions.
No, you are higher.
You are higher, but you're not necessarily safer.
No, you're not necessarily safer. It's just you're higher off the ground.
Yeah, because if your car turns sideways, you're gonna tip. Because the center of gravity is higher. Right. So there's a lot of cars like that. The i3 is the only one that has it has a gasoline engine, but it's purely a generator. It doesn't power the wheels. It powers the battery. So if you're gunning it and you're using more power than the generator is generating, you're going to lose your charge. And then at some point, the car's going to just slow down because there's no more battery left. So that's the only car that really has only a generator, an engine that doesn't power the wheels.
Okay.
So it's because cars that, like Dev's car, our friends, shout out Dev again, that use the hybrid sort of engine electric, it's just double the odds of something going wrong in your car.
That's also true.
Like why? Like if the maintenance, like if your engine might break, which I've had experience with, or your batteries may go, or your motor may go, or like this, or the drivetrain, or whatever shifts from gas. Like there's so many more components in the car that make it like why would I want to own this thing? Like any hybrid vehicle that powers with motors, it's just like increasing the odds of maintenance. So yes, BMW maintenance is not something you want to have to deal with, and you can't just go to your mechanic and say, "Hey, fix my electric car."
Yeah.
They can change the tires, but there's not much more that they'll be able to do.
Is the i3 an SUV or it's like a midsize?
No, it's a hatchback. Okay. It's not a crossover. A crossover. To be honest, I don't even know what the definition between like the difference between a hatch and a crossover are. But a hatchback looks like a Golf, and a crossover they tend to be a bit higher. The floors are higher, but they're not more spacious.
Yeah, I know.
But an SUV is just even bigger.
Okay,
so now that we're talking about electric cars, the argument for electric cars, especially in Canada or Quebec and Ontario or whatnot, where gas is super expensive, is the cost of, let's say you drive 80 kilometers in a day, it's going to cost you in Quebec about $1 to $1.50 to charge it. So it's going to cost you about $300 to $500 a year to run your car.
Yes.
Like for me, I'll use my numbers. I spend about $4,000 on gas in a year. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good big number.
And if I spend $400 on electricity, you know, in the States, they say, oh, it's 3 times cheaper to run an electric car. For some reason, they use 3 times because I guess they pay like 18 cents per kilowatt hour in the States, and we pay 7. But in Quebec, it's like 8 to 10 times cheaper to run an electric car. So it's even the argument for that is even better here, and also 98%. All of our
tax credit as well, right?
Yeah, a lot of people. That's if you buy new, but I'm not that rich. But a lot of people. Why am I saying this? In Quebec, all of our energy is pretty much renewable. I'm pretty sure. So it's like in the States, if you live in the Midwest, I think they use a lot of coal there. I'm actually not sure, but a lot of states use coal. Then you're just powering your car with coal. So what's more efficient? Is it coal or is it gas? Who knows? I don't know what the efficiency is, but gas engines are very much not efficient. Yes. Electric engines are much more efficient.
Yeah, I think in gas you're losing what, like
70%, I think, is lost to heat or whatever. And then if you look at the fuel cell cars, those are also much less efficient. Fuel cells are cars that you power with
diesel,
hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
So you have like you go to the pump and you fill your car with hydrogen, but it's very, very expensive and it takes a lot of energy to create the pure hydrogen and to store it and to move it around. So, and the argument.
I've never even seen.
Yeah, they're not in Canada. I don't even know if we have a fuel cell station, but in Asia and Europe they have a few.
Oh, okay.
And but the argument for electric is it takes you off the grid. You no longer rely on oil companies. Hydrogen, you'll still rely on some oil companies that'll refine it, that'll prepare it for you. So you still rely on the grid. And filling up your tank with hydrogen is the same cost as filling up your tank with gas. It's like $80 for a tank. So it's like, well, why would you do that? So by going electric, you take your reliance on companies completely away. Yes, you're reliant on your utilities or whatever electric provider, but Shell's gonna leave, is gonna die. Like all these big companies that have this whole infrastructure are gone. That's why they're going to push fuel cell. Like, oh, fuel cell's the best. Fuel cell's the best because it keeps them relevant.
Or economies reliant on oil.
Yeah, but it keeps them relevant because they still have a fuel, which is hydrogen, to move from point A to point B and to refine or prepare it. So the only way that they could stay relevant is if they go into like start investing in these companies that go make electric cars, and then it completely shifts their business model, and they can make electric charging stations, but then again, like.
But they could use their existing infrastructure and change it. Let's say electric. But the money they'll make is nothing.
Yeah, but exactly because they're not selling fuel anymore. The electricity is coming from the grid, so they're just creating the installation, and you could charge rent to put the charger, but like you're not going to be making nearly as much money as you are selling fuel. Well, whatever. So they don't want electric cars.
Do you foresee then? Let's say if we have a gradual shift to electric cars, do you foresee a higher? Because government is also going to lose out on a huge tax revenue source in oil. Do you see them making the cost of electricity or hydro in Quebec more expensive or tacking on another tax onto that?
Studies have shown, I think, because we didn't actually research this topic. I didn't know what was going here. But that Over time, electricity costs are decreasing.
Yes.
Because as renewable energies increase and as they become more
Yes.
affordable and as they become more efficient, there'll be more of it, and there'll be more energy. So it'll cost us less. The other thing is that in countries like Germany, I think, but so again, no reason. I'm pretty sure Germany is an example. Is you can use your car to power your house. Actually, sorry, this is anywhere. If you have the proper box, you can use your if there's a blackout, you can use your electric car to power your house.
Okay.
For like a day or two, like cars are
really?
bigger. Yeah, if you don't.
A day?
Yeah, because you don't use that much power. Like if you think of it, if you turn on a light, what's the difference between a ceiling light and the headlight on your car?
No, I think the headlight would use more.
No, they're similar. Meaning, like if you
but I have so much stuff plugged in. My computer, my fridge, my air conditioning, all this other stuff.
I know, but to drive a car, the motors, it's pretty big. But you need to look at the amount of kilowatt hours you use per day, right? A car battery, like a Tesla, 60 to 90 kilowatt hours, I think, off the top of my head. The i3, the older ones have 30 kilowatt hours.
That's the charge that's in there.
That's the capacity.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you use 15 kilowatt hours per day, like let's for fun Google how much an average household uses kilowatt hours per day. Obviously, depending on winter, summer, the region, it'll be different.
That's
household
kilowatt
hour per day. Let's see. The average annual, I want daily, 867 per month. So let's see, 867 divided by 30, so it's 28. So if you take the i3, which is a pretty shit battery, that'll power your house for a day.
Wow. With
average, like if you're not trying to save your electricity, if you're on a blackout, you're like, okay guys, let's turn the TV off, let's turn the computers off, whatever. You can probably last for 2 days on a tiny car battery. If you buy a Tesla, this will power your house for 3 days.
Wow.
So it's number one. Number two is you have peak pricing for power.
Yes.
If you charge your car at night, you can. My cat wants to get in. If you charge your car at night and you can sell the energy back to the grid during the day from your car to the grid, and you make money that way. That's what I was talking. In Germany, you can do that. Let me go open the door. If you have the proper box.
So hold on. I what do you mean I sell it back to the grid? So you're saying that I use my. I would charge it during off-peak.
You would charge it at night.
So which is off-peak.
Yeah, off-peak.
And then I use that to power my home in the morning, so I save
money?
Well,
what you would do is you would sell the power back to the grid. So if your house is powered by solar.
Okay.
And obviously you have an excess capacity. It's a sunny day, whatever. You can take that excess capacity when your battery's 90% full. I'm making up the science because I don't know exactly how it works, but let's say it's 90% full. It'll start selling any excess to the grid. So back into the grid, and you would make money that way. So with electric cars, I believe you can do the same. You can sell energy back to the grid through some whatever inverter box or something that you need to install.
But my question is, because government, let's say oil in Canada generates tax revenues of $100 million. Let's say.
Yes.
Probably a lot more.
Yeah.
Would they raise now because they lost that revenue? Yeah. Would they shift that tax onto electricity?
I don't think so, because the ecological economic cost of global warming or climate change is going to impact future revenues a lot. Because as soon as you start not being able to grow food in certain areas, used to be able, like. And people are starting to become more and more aware of the severity of climate change.
Yes.
And, some people, there were some lawsuits, some millennials suing the government or suing the older generation for not taking care of the planet. Like, there's some stupid lawsuits.
Really?
Yeah. Someone told me about it. It's like, okay, it's sort of vague. I'm not saying they're going to win, but it's just to point out, like, maybe now they're going to be more conscious about the decisions that they make in the future.
They are more conscious.
Especially, but... we think it's because they're better people, but no, it just has to do with money.
Yes, of course.
Like McDonald's and this and that, and they're being careful because they know that if half the population dies, or if they can't grow crops anymore, or if beef becomes, they won't be making as much money. So it's not even about that they want to save the environment; it's just they want to make more money, or they think that the PR that they'll get from it will make them more money. So I don't think governments will be charging more money to compensate for the tax because
of this
the
benefit they're getting.
Yeah, the benefit they're getting and the good. Yeah, like in Norway, I mean, that's the country that has the most EVs because they charge a huge tax on gas cars.
Yes.
So a lot of it, but I don't think that they charge more for electricity. If anything, it's pretty cheap there too. Again, not sure. So I think I wanted to do a topic at some point on electric vehicles because it is a financial choice because electric vehicles cost more money now. But in the long term, you'll save money as gas price.
100%. Tesla actually has this calculator on this website. I've used it a couple of times. It's really interesting. Yeah. So they have this how much would you save using electricity versus gas? So they say enter how much gas you use per year.
Let's see if I can find it.
Tesla calculator or something. So basically, you'd enter how much, maybe under energy, you'd enter how much gas you'd use. So let's say, or your kilometers per year. One of those two factors. So you enter that in. So say, okay, so this is how much, I don't think it's that. So say how much it costs for gas. It'll pump out the corresponding cost in electricity in your area. It'll show you those savings. But then it'll also show you the savings, okay, how much time does it take you to fill up at the pump every week or every time you go? So there's also the time factor that's saving. So we come home, we just plug in our phone and we go around, or we plug in whatever appliance we have. Same with the car, you just plug it in and go. Yeah. Think of the time aspect you're also saving.
So you're saving time, you're saving money on gas.
And you're helping the environment.
And that's what they use to come up with whatever number they come up with.
Exactly. But it's just interesting to look at. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the compounding calculator I use a little bit. But yeah, we could do one that's more in depth of electric vehicles too.
I don't see how much further we can go than this.
If you come up with something, but I'm pretty sure as the years go by and as this kind of gains more popularity and more accessibility, there's going to be a lot more features and a lot more decisions that are in there.
Yeah, the issue. Just. The issue. I mean, for me, I live in a condo, and for me to install a charger is $5,000. If you live in a house, it's about $1,000, $1,500 in Canada, right? In CAD, but in a condo, the infrastructure is just not here. The infrastructure on the road, honestly, is there. People obviously, if there were as many electric cars as there were gas cars, they wouldn't. But for the volume of cars that we have, I don't own an electric car, so I can't say I came with a charger.
There's a Tesla charging station at the mall near the grocery store.
But if it's full, that means the infrastructure is not there. But I've never seen it full. But I don't think that we're at the point in time where there's too many electric cars on the road, and it's a very simple problem to mitigate. You just install more chargers.
Yes.
It's not like installing a gas station where you have to dig, you have to get a big tank. No. It's just you hook it up to the power and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more involved, but it's easier than setting up a gas station or setting up a fuel cell station. So, okay, I think we hit stuff there. So now back to the actual original topic. I'll have to change the title of this podcast.
That's okay.
We wanted to talk about a recap of 2018, which it was. Open up the S&P 500 graph and look at it. That's the recap. But now, more interestingly, is what's going to happen in 2019 for us. Forget the stocks, who knows? But what are we doing? What are we going to be doing apart from passing our CFA 2? Hopefully.
That's in June. That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking at our new venture.
Sure.
Why don't you take that away? Because that's your brainchild.
My brainchild.
What's your brainchild?
Well, we came up with the idea of preparing a course for you guys, and the reason we have our YouTube videos and whatever, but we really want to create a course where the course number 1 is going to be showing you the pure basics of how to transact in the financial markets and explain to you what every sort of investment vehicle that we choose to talk about is. So, we talked about stocks on the podcast, talked about bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, and those are the ones that we're going to be talking about in the course. But instead of just saying, oh, yeah, we like them because, we don't like them because, whatever, we're going to actually show you on the screen where to look for information, how to gauge whether or not this mutual fund or ETF or stock is a good fit for you, and how to actually transact on it.
How to make sense of the info. What are you looking at?
Look at the risks and the rewards. So it's not going to be an expensive course, of course, because we're not here to make money. We're here to help you guys, and we're here to help people get access to tools that are available to them. Yeah. Right? We're not saying go invest in some hedge fund with a minimum buy-in of $5 million. It's not. No. And a lot of people, since they don't understand it, okay, they educate themselves, but the best way to learn is by doing.
Yes.
And if we do it for you first, and you can see how it works, like this is how you buy, this is the type of orders that you can do, this is what it looks like after you buy, so you can really see what happens, and there aren't going to be any surprises. If you wake up the next morning and the stocks are down 10%, I mean, we'll explain what the risks are, but you won't be like, oh, but the price was $30, but I paid $30.10 for my stock. Why? Right after I initiate a position, I'm running a loss already. It's because you purchase at the ask and you sell at the bid, so that would be the loss. Actually, I think it shows the market value, right?
What are you?
In Questrade, when you purchase a stock, right after you purchase it, you're running a loss.
Yeah.
Not because it's delayed by 15 minutes, which yes, it is, but also because you purchase at the ask.
Yes.
And when it calculates the market value, it uses the average between the average between the bid and the ask.
Yes.
Which is the list price.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what it does.
Yeah.
So we'll just explain we'll do everything step by step. We're not going to say, okay, now you buy the stock and not show you how to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. And we're not going to be suggesting any investments. That's not what the course is trying to do. We're not going to say go buy Apple stock, for example.
But use Apple a lot because everyone knows the company and it's an interesting company. There's volume. So.
And the other thing is this is going to give you, what I feel it's going to give you is a real baseline level of comfort with all these slew of financial products that are coming out. So if you go to the bank and talk with an advisor, you're going to be aware of what's going on. If you go sign up with a robo-advisor, you're going to know, okay, what is an ETF? What do they mean by index? What do they mean by this volume? What do they mean by a minimum buy-in? What do they mean by the fees they charge and how are those calculated?
Yeah, and more importantly, we show you how to do it. So buying a bond, I've never bought a bond in my life, but he has. So he's going to walk you through how he buys his bonds.
All these little tips and tricks that really takes time to learn, and there's not really a lot of people out there that are showing you how to do it. And I know when we were both starting out, if we had someone to say, hey, maybe it's not the best idea to buy an option going into earnings, maybe we would have really liked that and appreciated it at the time. But we learned the lesson the hard way, and we're going to be sharing those lessons with you in the new year. And hopefully get that out there.
Yeah, and the point of it is just to enable you to transact.
Yes.
Because a lot of courses, okay, technical analysis, this, you look for this, that to buy, but what if you don't even know how to do any of that?
Yeah.
And all the resources that we're going to be using are going to be free, like Yahoo Finance. I have a graphing tool that's free and it's really powerful. So we're really looking forward to preparing that, but it does take time.
Yes,
it does. We still want to keep this podcast regular-ish.
Yes. So we'll be running that and still studying for the CFA. Yeah. But we will have some great content for you in the new year.
Sometime.
Yes.
We'll use our Christmas time off to do this.
Yes, we will. Of course.
Hooray! And then next thing, I mean, more of a personal project. We're looking to start a real estate fund. Not that we don't like the stocks, but real estate's also an interest of ours, and
it's in investing.
We're broke, so we need to start a fund. So collect money from other people, including ours.
Well, we could buy a shack, somewhere.
Yeah, we can go live
with that
in a container.
Yeah. It's actually shipping container houses. I was watching Dragons Shark Tank the other day, and this guy was selling houses. They're like shipping containers that he remodels. He sells them for I think like $20,000, and there's a kid inside, and you build your own like container house and stuff. Yeah. And everyone was laughing at him, and they're like, "Okay, tell us what your sales are. You prove us wrong." He's like, "Sold one container. We could be the second one."
Sorry,
we could be the second buyer. Start with that. Roll with that. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm like, where would you put it? You can't just like put it anywhere.
There would need to be land dedicated to container housing.
I know, but like, you can't just like go on the street there like, oh, this is gonna be my house. I'm gonna put it right here, in the middle of the street. But
I guess it could be like RV type thing, but you have a container. Yeah. So you can live in different places.
So hard to move.
Yeah, no, you'd have to have like a company that moves container homes. And that's a whole new business line. There you go. There we can call them up and say, hey, you looking for
looking to move
equipment? Yeah. What else are we doing? We're doing yeah. There's not much going on in our lives.
No. But those three are the big projects. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Oh, really? That's all you have to say?
That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Keep going.
Do you have more to say?
Not really.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. If this is our last podcast, we wish you a very happy and prosperous new year. and a great holiday season.
Yeah, and you know the PC way to do it. Good job.
I always say great holiday.
Yeah, because you don't celebrate Christmas anyway, so.
Yeah, and you gotta say everyone. There's so many different holidays going on right now, you know. So you say nice holiday season, and a great new year. If there's anything, you can always reach us at personalfinanceboss@gmail.com or on our Instagram page and Facebook page at personalfinanceboss. As well, comment on any of our YouTube videos, and we'll be happy to get back to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.